I don't think he's probably going to be there at 6 on draft night. But Ace Bailey is somebody that, I throughout the year was like a little nitpicky on because it was this, he should be up there with Flag, Dylan Harper thing at the start of the year, which I didn't see, but I'd love him at 6 just because of the physical profile and some of the skills. But I would imagine he did not grade out particularly well because of some of the limitations and inefficiencies in his game here overall, Kevin. So what did you see with Rutgers freshman Ace Bailey?
So what shows up in the numbers is, one, he was very inefficient on offense, tying 104 offensive rating, 51% 2-point percentage, which is pretty low for a forward. Which
he's basically a 6'7.5" 2 guard. Like I think that's really what you're expecting.
More wing, and I would say I don't have him too far down. Okay. Yeah, I've got him as a wing, so I don't have him too far down. That's about where but it's still his shooting a little on the low side there. His 3-point percentage was fine. His free throw percentage a little low, but that's the kind of thing guys often improve. 69% free throw shooter. That's not a bad free throw shooter, and when he gets to NBA coaching, they'll get that up to 77% or something, and it'll be fine. I like his rebounding. 8.6 per 40. That's pretty solid. No playmaking whatsoever, and he did block some shots. Doesn't get many steals. No turnovers to speak of. More turnovers than assists, but that's mainly because he didn't do any playmaking at all. Just 1.5 assists per 40. That's pretty close to the lowest in the draft.
Basically every possession is I'm going to take 1 or 2 dribbles and shoot from 17 feet. And I'm going to make more of them because everyone knows I'm going to do it than most normal people would do.
Yeah.
But you'd just like to see a guy that is a pretty solid athlete be able to use those things.
Yeah. In the numbers, I will say he looks reasonably talented.
Yeah.
It's, that efficiency being as low as it would be a concern.
Sure. Yeah, you're just banking on a couple things coming together. Like he didn't play as athletic as he looks like he should be. So you're hopeful that he can figure some of those things out. One of the things I really come around on, and I wanted to talk to you about this too, Kevin, is just I feel like ball handling is a thing that really is a separator for the absolute top guys. Like who's an elite player in the NBA that's not an above average ball handler for their position? Like it doesn't happen a whole lot. Like, there are some guys that are a little limited, but like, you saw Jaylen Brown as a guy you mentioned earlier, like he took a big jump as a player when the handle got a lot tighter. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing I worry about with Bailey is just, he's got a pretty good first step, especially with guys his size guarding him. But I feel like the handle holds him back from being able to just actually take advantage of that a lot of times. And then he settles. So like, that's why I like a guy like Fears. Like the ball is on a string and he's going to be able to get into space and capitalize on more of those things. So that's when I worry about a guy at that size being able to develop, because there's just not a long list of like these wings that went from like underwhelming ball handlers for their, position or role essentially to like higher end ones. But I don't know how you would evaluate something like that pre-draft, is like how good someone's handle is or not.
Yeah, I think that's probably more of you watch it and you see the functional dribble. In the numbers, I would say that the indicators for that would be things like, the turnovers. And I would have to go a little deeper into the numbers to see, because you'd be looking at, there's a difference between like bad pass turnovers and ball handling turnovers. Is he trying to make plays and the ball's just going out of bounds, or is it more, did he dribble the ball off his foot? So, yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things where there's enough there when you see it though. And some of the things when he does them, your just eyes kind of pop out of your head. Like there aren't a whole lot of people that make some of the tough shots that he makes. And you just feel like if some of the easier stuff ever comes around with him, he's a guy that if he's there at 6, I think you just take it and you don't really, you're willing to roll the dice with that. I think if you're the Wizards, and it seems to fit a decent amount of things they look like, look at positional size and things like that too. So
yeah, no, I hear you with that, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Just take him if he's there, you take him because he's the most talented player, and then you figure it out, you coach him, and try to man, nobody thought you were going to be any good.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You motivate him that way.
Well, you got to show him.
I think the other thing there too is just resale value with the guy, that if he's on top 5 consensus on everybody's board, if you get him with 6 and he doesn't really work out with you, there might be somebody willing to give him a second try, later on. So I always think about those kind of things too. If it doesn't fully pan out for you, who are people going to stay higher on longer than, whereas if you really reach for a guy at 6, the rest of the league's kind of looking at you like, good luck with your project there, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. I know. I wouldn't want to pick him 3rd.
Yeah.
I'd be provisionally willing to pick him 6th, depending on who else is there.
Yep. I'm with you with that.